I ran an IT department for the government, but when I started my own business, it was chaotic from a technical perspective. I remember I wasted months building digital tools nobody wanted with software and hardware that wasn't even up to the task. I had to clean up my tech stack. So here's the list with the 4 tools that seriously moved my solo consulting business in the right direction. A Mac, a password manager app, network attached storage or a NAS, and VidIQ. Those are hands down the 4 tools that made the biggest difference in my work over the last 12 months. Let's start with hardware. Believe it or not, I'm actually old enough to remember Windows 95. And ever since then, I was a Windows user. It worked just fine during the days when I played computer games as a teenager, even when I went to college or for work as a chief digital officer. Until last year, that is, when I became more serious about YouTube as part of my business. I actually own a laptop with pretty good specs that runs on Windows, but for some reason, video editing software like Premiere Pro or After Effects was lagging like crazy. And when I switched to 4K cameras with even bigger file sizes, it got so bad the laptop crashed multiple times a day. It was killing my productivity. What should have taken minutes sometimes took me half an hour. So I made the switch grudgingly. I was super hesitant, not just because of the prices Apple charges, but because of the different ecosystem I wasn't used to. So I researched the hell out of it because I was scared to make yet another wrong financial decision. Comparing MacBook Air with MacBook Pro, M3 chip with M4 chip, 14-inch versus 16-inch screens, and so on. Let's just say I made a lot of tech YouTubers happy by watching a ton of review videos. Eventually, the IT gods must have had mercy because the night before I was going to order a MacBook Pro, I came across this 40-second short on YouTube. I don't even remember the guy's name, but he made a point I never even considered before. If you don't work in a coffee shop, in an airport, or on the beach, you don't really need a MacBook, do you? So why don't you get a Mac Mini? It basically comes with the same specs of a MacBook, but without the screen and for less than half the price. Mind blown, just like that. As it stands, I work in an office not by the pool, so I bought a Mac Mini Pro. The performance gains were crazy from day one. The moment I opened Premiere Pro, everything just worked. I could stack 4K video, animations, do color grading, hit play, and it would run perfectly. That wasn't simply a small improvement in my mind. We're talking huge boost in productivity with the video editing alone. And this directly impacts my bottom line. I can edit faster now, which means I can produce more content. But more importantly, it removed the friction and the frustration I was building up within myself and with my Windows laptop. Considering I'm strongly focused on content creation lately, it was a strategic investment in business efficiency, and so far worth every single cent. Now, your situation might be different. Maybe video editing isn't something you actually do altogether, and that's cool. The key takeaway here is that you still have to look at your devices and identify if they boost your productivity or if they hold you back. When starting out, there are more important things to worry about than insufficient hardware. I haven't turned into an Apple evangelist because I bought a Mac, but I do recognize it comes with advantages that Windows-based systems seem to lack. So let me be the guy who says, if you do not work in a coffee shop, at an airport, or by the beach regularly, you don't need a MacBook. A Mac Mini might just be the better choice for you. Alright, moving on to the second best business decision now. Getting a dedicated password manager app I use for all logins. Bitwarden to be specific. Before I moved into the role of IT department head, I was like most people out there. I had a spreadsheet with all my logins on my desktop. I'm not proud of it, of course, but hey, it was just convenient. I stopped doing that pretty quickly though when the risks were pointed out to me by cybersecurity specialists I was working with. One data breach would have been enough for hackers to get access to my entire password list, including the business ones. No thanks. So I transitioned to one master password for Bitwarden and added all logins to the vault. As it turns out, it was even more convenient to use that than my spreadsheet. And aside from only having to remember one master password now, I could boost my login security overall by generating stronger 12 to 16 character password sequences with random characters. Something like this. That way, I also stopped reusing the same password on multiple accounts, which was another bad habit I had. It may not look like a big deal in the bigger picture, but it was by far the most important thing I've done for my company's cybersecurity. Working in the digital space gets more and more complex, and safe passwords, or even the best practices, are essential. If increased security alone isn't a selling point for you, I can tell you that using a password manager app also boosts a lot of workflows on a daily basis because I don't have to copy paste logins from a spreadsheet anymore. Everything is centralized now. I can access logins through a browser extension and change logins quickly if I need to. Plus, having my passwords properly organized and safe means it's one less thing I have to worry about. It makes me sleep better at night and frees up some mental headspace to focus on other things. Hey, quick interruption. If you're finding this valuable so far and you see how a better tool like a Mac or Bitwarden could transform your own work, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel and it tells me to make more videos just like this one. I appreciate that. Now let's talk about centralized data storage and optimized file management that makes work much more efficient. So when I started with this whole YouTube thing, I had all video files and documents stored on my laptop. Storage space was limited, so eventually I moved to external HDDs. And eventually I upgraded to SSDs because they allowed me to edit videos straight from the disk. I got an efficiency boost out of that. The only problem was that I had multiple drives, and when I was looking for files, I either had to remember where I put them or look through the drives itself. Some stuff was on drive 1, videos on the other drive, and file management was really a mess. And also, it was risky in a way. What if an external drive gets damaged? Then I'd lose all the data. So going for cloud storage like Google Drive or Dropbox would have been an option, sure, but a pricey one over time. As it turns out, a NAS or network attached storage was the cheaper solution over the long run. So if you're serious about content creation, I'm sure you've heard about that before. And even if you're doing consulting but you handle large file sizes for clients, for instance, it might be worth considering to get a NAS. Think of it like a Google Drive or a Dropbox that you own. It's a physical box you put in your office or your apartment if you work from home. It has a bunch of hard drives inside connected to your network. And instead of plugging a drive into your computer, you just access the files over Wi-Fi or a network cable connected to your laptop. It's a game changer for a few reasons. First, centralization. All my files from all those different drives now live in one place. I can access my entire video archive and my business documents from my desktop, my laptop, or even my phone. And that also works if I'm traveling. Then there's the security and redundancy aspect. Most NAS, or is it NASs? I don't know. Well, most NAS support a system called RAID storage. It just means the NAS saves data across multiple drives, and even if one of them fails, the data can easily be recovered because one drive essentially acts as a backup. Think of a NAS like a mini server. I can create shared folders for clients and give them a secure link to upload their files directly to my system. And that's way more professional than a generic file sharing link. For my collaborators, we can all work from the same pool of files, so we're always using the latest version of the same file. For any business dealing with large file sizes like video, a NAS isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity in my opinion. Sure, the upfront cost is more than an external 10 terabyte hard drive, but you're not just buying storage, you're buying accessibility, security, and efficiency. And I get if you're skeptical. Setting up your own network sounds super technical. But trust me when I say this, I manage an IT department for the government. I am not an IT specialist in any capacity. I have no clue about network infrastructure, IP addresses, and all the technical stuff. I'm the guy who plugs in the cable into the router and hopes it works, right? And yet I managed to set up the NAS by myself and I got it to work. Plus, there are fantastic videos on YouTube walking you through the physical installation process step by step. Let me know in the comments if you're already working with a NAS right now and how it improves your workflow. Now, the final tool that really moved my business in the right direction. When I started posting on YouTube, I was mostly talking about the things I found important. But there's obviously a difference between what I want to talk about and what you want to hear about. So unsurprisingly, my first videos didn't get a lot of views. I did a few courses over the last few months, and again VidIQ came up. That's an online tool that helps content creators be more strategic about the videos they make. Truth be told, I had no content strategy other than talk about topics that were important to me. The views wouldn't come, the channel wouldn't grow, and I couldn't pinpoint why really. Was it the topics, the thumbnails, the titles, SEO? I was basically creating content in a vacuum with no idea what people wanted to hear from me. If you're a creator, you know how demoralizing that is. Pouring your heart and your soul into a video just to see it get 3 views. That's the worst. VidIQ changed that because it shifted my mindset from I think that's a good idea to the data proves it is a good idea. Basically, it plugs into YouTube and gives you all sorts of data. There's an AI-powered script writing tool, a thumbnail creator, and other stuff I haven't even tried yet. The point is VidIQ completely takes what video should I make out of the equation, right? Personally, I found the channel audit tool the best one so far. It's like a report card for my channel that tells me what's working and what's not. It shows me which videos are generating subscribers or had great audience retention and why. On the flip side, it also flags underperforming videos and suggests how to fix them. Better title, better tags, better thumbnail. It gives me a clear list to improve new and existing content basically. It was a no-brainer for me to get it. I mean, I still have to make engaging videos, but VidIQ makes sure that the video is better than what I could have done on my own. A Mac, a password manager, centralized file storage, and software to improve videos. Those 4 tools help me go from chaos to a business that feels a lot more strategic and ready to scale as well. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck in your own business, take a look at your systems. You might just be a few key tools away from leveling up. Of course, you need to make sensible decisions so you don't waste time and money on bad choices. That's clear. In case you haven't seen the video about critical and very expensive screw-ups I made last year, watch that next, so you can learn from my mistakes and save money and time in the process. Alright, I see you next week.